demonstrate prosperity. I know that when I give with love and pure integrity, the universe reciprocates with gifts that I receive. There is enough for you and me. There is enough for you and me. I know that when I suffer, I have some work to do. Get rid of all my stories that keep me separate from you. And when that healing takes place, I fill my world with peace. The universe reciprocates with gifts that I receive. There is enough for you and me. There is enough for you and me. I step into my purpose, so passionate and free, not knowing how or where I'll get the help that I may need. With gratitude and peace, I release and I let go. With the knowledge it is done, I am already in the flow. I'm in the flow. There is enough for you and me. There is enough for you and me. There's enough. There's enough. There's enough. There's enough. Good morning and happy Sunday. Welcome to Unity Church of Sun Lake Sunday service this morning. I am so grateful that you've decided to join me today. Unity Church of Sun Lakes is a spiritual center of love and light, teaching and supporting one another in transforming our lives by living the truths taught by Jesus Christ and other master teachers. Our vision is a world of oneness, where all people are free to express their divine potential. Let us begin with prayer. Settle in to that place inside your heart, that secret, sacred place where we join together as one with the universe, the supreme being, the creator of all life, all living things. There's only one power and one presence in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. And there is only one power and one presence in my life, God the good, omnipotent. Oh. As we align with the truth of who we are in this space of true oneness with God, we allow the light to fill our entire bodies. We allow our feelings and emotions to feel that oneness with God and with each other, this beautiful community of like minds, where we believe that we are one. We are God in this space, in this conscious, awakened space. And so we take some time now to just be in this space with this alignment, this oneness. And we also ask God in the affirmative for the things that we want in our lives. I thank you, universe, for curing this coronavirus. I thank you for healing and returning to wholeness those who are grieving for this incredible loss. I thank you for peace spread throughout all the land, Father. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I know that you are always in the midst of all of it, and you raise our thoughts when we falter. You raise our thoughts above any doubt, any fears, so that we continue to live as God and lifting the consciousness of the universe, so that one day we do truly live in peace as one humanity. And so it is. And so now we will go into our music prior to meditation in the silence. In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. God is there. In the silence, I find my upper room, a holy supper room. God is there. All my good is within. In my heart, I'm listening. In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. God is there. Peace is there. I am there. And so if you haven't closed your eyes, now would be the time to do that. And take that journey from your head down to your heart center. Be inside your body. This is where we at Unity do our going within, embodying our body. So that we can listen. Listen to guidance. Listen to the universe talking, perhaps, to us. Listening to our own intuition and our higher selves. And so to begin meditation today, I would like to calm the mind, quiet the mind. And so I'm going to ask you to inhale to the count of 8 breaths. So you do it slowly, ever so slowly. Then I'll ask you to hold the breath for 8 counts. And then I'll ask you to slowly exhale for 8 counts. And we will continue this for a little bit. And so we can inhale to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And slowly exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now just return your breath to normal and take a scan through your body to notice how you feel. Remaining inside the body. I like to look at my heart space and ask if there's anyone inside there that loves me. And I always get an answer. And now I want you to take your hand, left hand on your heart, right hand on top. And we're going to do something called a cannon breath, where you make your mouth into an O shape. And we're going to breathe a breath of fire in and out. And this exercise will calm your mind and quiet the mind, okay? So we'll just do it for a brief moment. And you do this at your own pace. All right, so here we go. Deep inhale, hold the breath, exhale with a big smile, relax your arms down, and now we will just have a few moments of silence so that we can listen to Spirit. And now to come back, taking a deep breath. And a big sigh. And come back to the room. A speaker walked up to the podium to address a student body of a small college in South Carolina. After looking at the audience from left to right, the speaker began by saying, "I was born to a mother who was deaf and could not speak. I grew up not knowing my father, and I still don't. The first job I ever had was a cotton field." The audience was spellbound. The speaker continued, "Nothing has to remain the way it is if that's not the way that we intend it to be. It isn't luck, and it isn't circumstances, and it isn't being born a certain way that causes a person's future to become what it becomes." The speaker softly repeated, "Nothing has to remain the way it is if that's not the way we intend it or want it to be. All we have to do to change a situation that brings unhappiness or dissatisfaction is answer one question. How do I want this situation to be? And then we must totally commit to personal actions that carry us there. Then a beautiful smile came across the face of the speaker as she said, "My name is Azzie Taylor Morton. I stand before you today as Treasurer of the United States of America." For those of you who don't know Azzie Taylor Morton, she was the first and thus far the only African American to serve as U.S. Treasurer. And she served under President Carter. And the only African American female whose signature has appeared on U.S. currency. This story is a powerful illustration of this month's theme, turning impediments into empowerments. And we're using The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday as our reference book this month. Whatever we face in this experience called life, we always have a choice. We can be blocked by our obstacles, or we can use them as stepping stones to expressing our inherent, our innate, our divinely implanted greatness. The choice is entirely and completely and fully ours. There are countless individuals who have used obstacles as stepping stones to their greatness. Azzie Taylor Morton being one of them. Now it's our turn to be counted in those numbers. This book, this month, is a roadmap for our journey of turning impediments into chances for empowerment, obstacles into opportunities to grow bigger in God, misfortunes into great fortunes, and complications into expansions of consciousness. So my invitation to all of you was to bring your biggest challenge to the table this month, and let's turn it around. And I hope that's what you are doing. I am. According to Ryan Holiday, moving from impediment to empowerment takes 3 interdependent and interconnected disciplines that can be boiled down to just 3 words: perception, action, and will. Now, last week we looked at perception, and as the briefest of brief recaps, I want to share with you a statement from Eric Butterworth in his book Spiritual Economics that I did not share last week. He wrote this: take a careful look at the challenges you are facing, a possible layoff, an important career decision, the inability to make ends meet on your current income. If you identify these as your problems, there's a tendency to see them as static and burdensome, and with a feeling of resentment and self-pity. This just simply won't work. However, see the challenges as projects, and you tune in a whole different flow of consciousness. You are faced with some opportunities to grow, but you feel insecure in the awareness that, in the main, the answers will unfold from within. There's a sense of lightness, of clear horizons, and of confident expectancy. It's the same, it's a sense of lightness, and it's the same so-called trouble, but your attitude is different. And according to your thoughts, your faith, and your feeling, it will be done unto you. This is a mystic teaching that ages of old, but amazingly relevant teaching. And that is the power of perception in a beautiful nutshell. If you want to catch up on what else was said about perception, go ahead and tune into last week's video on YouTube. You can find it online on our website. Today, our focus is on the second discipline, which is action. Again, in the words of Azzie Taylor Morton, all we have to do to change a situation that brings unhappiness or dissatisfaction is answer the question, how do I want this situation to be? And then we must commit totally to personal actions that will carry us there. The fact is, action is commonplace, but inspired action is not. So what's inspired action? Well, I want to suggest 3 distinctions between inspired action and distraction. Inspired action is action in service to our greatest life. Inspired action is action that comes from a higher place within us. And inspired action is action that is part of the process. And what is the process? Well, hold with me, we'll get there. So let's unpack each one of those right now. Inspired action is action in service to our greatest life. The greater life, that is the answer to the question Azzie Taylor Morton said to ask. How do I want this situation to be? Or a bigger question is, how do I want my life to be? It is in service to your vision for your life. Inspired action comes from that vision. And it's not from the obstacle in front of you. When we focus on our greater life, we have a clearer head. And according to Ryan Holiday on page 60, if you're following along, a clearer head, a clearer head makes for steadier hands. And then those hands must be put to work. Inspired action is action that comes from a higher place within us. Not from resentment, fear, anger, at any obstacles. Although you are certainly entitled to have a snit fit about it if you need to, but don't take action from that place. That will definitely not be an inspired action, but rather act from the place that sees the obstacle as an opportunity. Remembering Einstein's words, we cannot solve a problem with the same thinking that we used when we created the problem. Inspired action comes from the place in us where we are consciously connected to the divine within. From that place that knows that it knows that it knows who and whose we are. From that place, the person that's never been hurt, never been betrayed, never been lied to, never been, you fill in the blank. There is that place in each and every one of us. And it is from that place that inspired action comes. And that takes us to the third idea of inspired action. Inspired action is action that is part of the process. The idea of the process actually comes from Coach Nick Saban, the head coach of the University of Alabama football, and it does focus on what every other coach focuses on, or at least not in the way that they do. He teaches what he calls the process. He says to his players, don't think about winning the SEC championship. Don't think about the national championship. think about what you need to do in this drill or on this play or right here in this moment. And that's the process. So let's think about what we can do today. That's the task at hand. So you've got a challenge in front of you. Don't focus on that. Instead, break it down into pieces. Simply do what you need to do right now. And then do it well. And then move on to the next thing. And follow the process, not the prize. The process is this: existing in the present. Taking it one step at a time and not getting distracted by anything else. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Take the first step in faith." You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. I know that seems almost too simple, but that is the process. We needn't scramble like we are so often inclined to do when difficulty sits right in front of us. Remember, the first time you saw a complicated algebra equation, it was a jumble of symbols and unknowns. But then you stopped to take a deep breath and you look at it and you broke it down. You isolated the variables, you solved for them, and then all that was left was the answer. So do that now for whatever obstacle you are facing. Take a deep breath and then do the next immediate thing and follow its thread into the next action. It's simple. Remember the psalmist's words, Psalm 119, verse 105. Thy word will be a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. That seems obvious, but we forget that this is what matters most. Perhaps you are stuck in bed recovering from an illness. Well, now you have time to write. Or perhaps you've lost your job or a relationship. Well, that's really horrible, but it gives yourself time to grieve. And now you can do all those things that you've been putting off. I've heard so many people say that they're so grateful for COVID right now because it's given them time to go within, do all the things, read the books that they've wanted to read, clean out closets, just getting their life cleared up and in order. Perhaps your emotions are overwhelmed and painful. Turn it into supporting others. You're having a problem? Now you know exactly what to approach your mentor with, or your coach, or maybe even your minister. Or finally, to make the decision to get one. Holiday writes, seize this moment to deploy the plan that has long sat dormant in your head. Every chemical reaction requires a catalyst. So let this obstacle be your catalyst. There's the age-old joke about the man begging, pleading to God, let me win the lottery, please God. And week after week after week he prayed. But week after week after week, he did not win. Eventually, the man hears God's voice say to him, will you please help me out and at least buy a ticket? We absolutely must do our share in the work. Thomas Troward in the Door Lectures said on page 131, we have to do our share of the work and not expect God to do it for us. God can only do what he can do. He can only do it through us. We are to use our common sense and natural faculties in working upon the conditions now present. He said, we must make use of them as far as they go, but we must not try and go further than the present things require. We must not try to force things, but allow them to grow naturally, knowing that they are doing so under the guidance of the all-creating wisdom. So that is what inspired action is. Action that is taken in service to our greatest life. Action that comes from a higher place within us. And that is part of the process, which is existing in the present moment, taking it one step at a time, and not getting distracted by anything else. What obstacle are you bringing to the table this month? And how could you apply what we've talked about today to it? So once again, I want you to close your eyes and bring to mind your obstacle that you're working on this month. And I want you to repeat after me. I am a center in the divine mind, a point of God-conscious life, truth and action. My affairs are divinely guided and guarded into right action, into correct results. Everything I do, say, or think is stimulated by the truth. There is power in this word that I speak, because it is of the truth, and it is the truth. There is perfect and continuous right action in my life and my affairs. Right action alone has power, and right action in my life and my affairs. Power is God, the living Spirit Almighty. This Spirit animates everything that I do, say, or think. Ideas come to me daily, and these ideas are divine ideas. They direct me and sustain me without effort. I am continuously directed. I am compelled to do the right thing at the right time, to follow the right course at all times. And for this, I am deeply grateful. And so it is. Well, now I have a little song. It's a good old unity song called It's in Every One of Us. And please sing along. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every And now it's time during this part of the service where we take our gifts in our hands. If you don't have your gifts handy, just place your hand upon your heart with your gift in mind. As we say together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We bless the givers and the receivers of these gifts. And we say, I give thanks for these many blessings of today, and know they are but a symbol of the inexhaustible substance of the universe. I give thanks that 10 times this much is now on its way to me and quickly manifests in perfect ways. Thank you, God. We are truly grateful for your tithes and offerings. We definitely are an abundant community, and for that we are all truly grateful. On behalf of myself and the board, we thank you so much for your continued support. And if you watching this today would like to support to Unity Church of Sun Lakes, you may go to our website at unityofsunlakes.org and click on the donation page, and there will be instructions there on how you can send your tithe in or your offering. And we have a song for the offering called I Am So Blessed by Karen Drucker. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I give. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so grateful, I am blessed. Well, I do have one announcement before we close today. And we did have our board meeting last Sunday, and Bettina Baker has decided to join us on the board. And for right now, she is creating something that is called the Sunshine Committee. Doesn't that sound like Bettina? And so it entails gathering a list of all of our birthdays. So if you should choose to participate in that, we would be able to wish you a happy birthday when it's your time for a birthday. Bettina also wants to create a committee that would mail birthday cards out. She will be calling and asking if you need any prayer support or if you need any driving around support, anything like that. And so she is going to be pulling people that are interested in helping be on a committee. Maybe we need to cook for somebody that's in trouble somehow and isn't able to get their groceries or whatever. So we're truly grateful for this service from Bettina. So grateful. All right, have a wonderful week. Get in action. Next week we're going to talk about the third discipline, which is will. And so let's close with the peace song and the prayer for protection. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family on our we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And let's have our say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. May God bless you.